In this personal capital versus Mint review, I am going to show you the ins and outs and the differences that might help you consider whether you want to use one, both, or neither. Hey there, I'm Jen. I'm the creator of Modern Frugality, and I have been on a decade-long quest to find the best budgeting app. And I guess I'm super picky because I just have not found one that's right for me. I have been through this quest. I actually wrote about it when I was writing for The Penny Hoarder, and I've tried out so many, and I can't seem to find the perfect one. I do have a few tools that I use that work for me, but it has been the struggle of my personal finance career to find a budgeting app that I can actually say that I love. But there are a few that I really, really like. So 2 of them are Personal Capital and Mint. And they're probably the ones that I hear about the most when it comes to budgeting apps. So I'm going to compare the 2 side by side to let you know if you should be using one or the other, maybe both, or maybe neither, because all 3 of those options really would fit depending on where you're at financially. First off, a little bit about what they are. Personal Capital is an online financial advisor. So it's actually a robo-advisor, and it has a suite of free wealth management tools. It's owned by Empower Retirement, which is actually one of the largest employee-sponsored retirement plans in the US. So it's up there with Fidelity and Vanguard, but it only does employer-sponsored plans. Mint is a free money management tool owned by Intuit, which also owns QuickBooks and TurboTax. Personal Capital and Mint are both legit personal finance apps. So I'm not going to bash either one. They are both great in their own ways. But I am going to pin them against each other in a battle to the death. No, I'm just going to go through them so that you can see why you might use either one. And I'm going to do that from the view of an average American millennial. So it really does depend where you are financially on what tool you're going to use. The average millennial earns about $47,000 per year, has about $30,000 in non-mortgage debt, and has around $32,000 currently saved for retirement across 401k and or IRA. So looking at it from that perspective, that's how we're going to review these 2 apps. First, let's talk about security and advertising. Both Personal Capital and Mint use the gold standards in security. So for a while, Personal Capital wasn't using multi-factor authentication, but as of December 2019, it is. So both Mint and Personal Capital use multi-factor authentication. And I'm not going to jumble your brain cells with all the terminology for security, but if you were to Google all of the measures that they take, you would find that it is bank level or above bank level security. As far as sharing your information with third parties, Personal Capital doesn't do that. The way it makes money is that you sign up for its robo-advisor services. So it doesn't share your information with third parties. It actually doesn't even house it. It uses a service called Yodlee, which just houses data. That's what they do. So not even anybody at Personal Capital has access to your personal information. Mint, on the other hand, does show advertisements. And when you click on one of those advertisements, it will share your information with those third parties, but only when you click on them. Fun fact, Mint actually also used to use Yodlee to house all its data, but now it uses Intuit, and that will become relevant a little later. All right, cat out of the bag, let's look at budgeting. Personal Capital offers cash flow tracking to see how much money you have coming in and how much you're going out. It does include investment income and non-job income, so that's not as useful when budgeting, but great when you're looking at your net worth, just not so great when you're budgeting. It also has spending pattern analysis and monthly summaries. But overall, Personal Capital's budgeting capabilities are pretty minimal. I have tried the budgeting feature and quickly stopped using it. It's just nothing impressive. Mint, on the other hand, is actually designed to be a budgeting tool, so its budgeting features are a lot more robust. If you're new to budgeting, Mint can actually set up a budget for you based on your spending. For people who really like to compartmentalize their categories, you can choose from over 100 of them. That does come back to bite you in the butt a little bit because sometimes it will categorize transactions weirdly, but as it tracks your spending, it'll start to see how you categorize things and it will learn that. So if you just give it a few months, it does become more intuitive as you start to correct it. It also allows you to roll over extra money into the next month's budget if you didn't spend it the month before. You probably should be putting that money towards savings and not rolling it over, but that is a feature that Mint offers. And ultimately, if you're choosing between these two apps solely for budgeting, Mint is the hands down winner. It's not the best personal finance app by far, but for budgeting, it tracks your transactions automatically. It has a lot of features under budgeting, and it's just more of a day-to-day finance app. So that one for budgeting, Mint is a clear winner. Next is bill alerts. So this kind of falls under budgeting, but I'll put it in a separate category. Both offer bill reminders, but again, because Mint is an app designed for day-to-day expenses, it's got more features for bills, whereas Personal Capital is more investing and retirement. It doesn't focus so much on monthly bills. So with Mint, you can set up reminders for your bills, like they'll give you alerts, and you can even input bill reminders for bills that can't come up automatically. So if maybe you pay your roommate rent every month by check, that is not going to come up automatically as a rent payment, but you can still manually input that as a bill payment reminder. Or we pay our daycare in cash, so we could put that as a manual reminder every time that's due. So that's really useful if you pay things by check every month. Next is synchronization. So both Personal Capital and Mint will connect to your bank accounts, your investment accounts. You can even set up your home to be tracked, the value of your home to be tracked by Zillow in your full financial picture in each app. So it connects to all these accounts and it automatically detects your transactions. So you can keep all your transactions synchronized and up to date in one place. So like I said before, Personal Capital uses Yodlee to hold all of your personal data. So that is all done through there while Mint uses Intuit. So that kind of breaks down the system because Yodlee is so much more superior for updating and keeping data up to date. Personal Capital is just leaps and bounds more accurate and up to date in its synchronization than Mint. So Mint is notorious for late updated transactions. It may take like a whole day before something you bought shows up in Mint. So it's not great if you are a meticulous budgeter and you want to keep your budget as up to date as possible. Maybe you and your spouse share a budget and you want to make sure you guys have enough money in a category. You're each gonna spend money from it. It may not be the right move to go with Mint. But Personal Capital, again, not really a budgeting app, but definitely more up to date in syncing transactions than Mint. So do with that what you will. Next is customer service. So for apps, you won't use customer service much, but I had an issue with Personal Capital where my mortgage wasn't syncing up to it and I couldn't get the code to go. I couldn't get it to show up to input the code. So I reached out to Personal Capital and they were very quick in rectifying that problem so that I could get my mortgage reconnected to my Personal Capital account. Mint, on the other hand, is a free app and it has a much wider user base. So Personal Capital has about 2.4 million users as of September 2020, where Mint has, over 10 million, conservatively, I think. So it's a free app with a ton of users, and customer service is just not a priority for them. You can email them, there's a chat, but you're really just better off using the help center to find answers to other people's questions. So good luck if you have a problem in your Mint account. Next is retirement and investment tracking. So if you've read any reviews or watched any of the reviews of Personal Capital before, you will know that this is where Personal Capital shines. I said right off the bat, Personal Capital is actually a robo-advisor. But because you need at least $100,000 in invested assets before they'll work with you, not many people use them as a robo-advisor, whereas Betterment and Wealthfront, you can go in there with like $100 and use them. So that's why Personal Capital's free wealth management tools get all the limelight, because those are available to everyone. And that makes them really stand apart for retirement and investment tracking. So there's so many things that they do. First is the basic retirement planner. So you can input your saving goals, when you want to retire, how much you're invested and investing. And Personal Capital will actually give you a score on like 1 to 100, how likely you are to reach your goals. And it actually just added a recession simulator to that planner so that you can play around with, okay, if a recession like the 2000 dot-com crash or the 2008 housing crash, if something like that happened here or here or here, how would that affect my finances? So it's great if you are nervous about a recession, or you're new to investing, or you're not really sure, because you can see historically backed data on how a recession would realistically affect your finances. And you can plug that right into the retirement planner and see that. So that is such a cool feature. You can also see how your investment retirement portfolio is diversified. So if you're using mutual funds, especially index mutual funds, and you don't have an accurate breakdown of what's in everything, Personal Capital will sort that out for you and actually show you how diversified you are. So that can help you reallocate in the ways that you need to. And you can even set up how aggressive or conservative you want to be, and Personal Capital will give you recommendations for free of maybe where you want to change things up to get closer to where you want to be. And it just gives you so many different scenarios. And if you are unfamiliar with investing or unsure about your retirement savings, Personal Capital is an invaluable tool to teach you about what you're invested in, what your future might look like, all this stuff. It will put your mind at ease, or maybe wake you up to the fact that you need to be doing more. But it's got so many educational tools to help you understand your retirement savings. So it really does absolutely shine here. So Mint offers you the opportunity to see all of your investments for retirement, your house, whatever, all in one place. And it also has a fee analyzer to make sure that you are getting the lowest fees possible. Personal Capital also has that, but that's really it. So if you're just getting started with your finances and you're not really thinking about retirement, you're just trying to get everything together, then you can do that at Mint. But as soon as you start thinking about retirement, then you're definitely going to want to move to personal capital. Final verdict, there are obviously reasons that you would use either one of these, both or neither, depending on where you're at. But for the average millennial who has some money in retirement, also has some debt and a pretty good income, personal capital is definitely something you want to have, just overall point blank, to make sure you're on track with retirement. And then as far as budgeting, you'll definitely want something else. So what I use is EveryDollar. I like having a manual budget. The free version forces you to upload your transactions manually. And I think that makes you come face to face with what you're spending, which is really important if you're trying to improve your spending habits. When things are just uploaded automatically, you can get really complacent with what you're spending, and then you go over budget without realizing it. But when you're having to put in your transactions every day, then you're coming face to face with those decisions, and it causes you to change faster. So I really like EveryDollar for budgeting, and then personal capital for my money management and seeing everything overall. And side note, I will say I have a referral link to personal capital. So if you sign up for personal capital using that link and connect an investment account with at least $1,000 in it, so that could be robo-advisor, 401k, 529 IRA, whatever, then personal capital will send you a $20 Amazon gift card in your email. So it only works if you use my referral link in the description, and they'll send me a $20 gift card too. So I'm a little biased about you signing up. But that actually doesn't affect the way I feel about personal capital as a whole as an app.